think what we try to do is we try to take the problem of CMT, meaning that the peripheral nerves aren't working right, and use that as a strength, so that it gives us a way to assess treatments, assess function, assess different management approaches that really aren't possible when you're talking about the brain. The brain is just too complicated, but nerves, okay, that's an area that we can study a little bit more precisely. So it's really exciting to see these things kind of working hand in glove, so that there was a lot going on. The other thing that is important to stress is just this important connection with the community, so that we really can't do as much unless we have a strong connection with the community. It's by seeing more people that we can leverage more from our hospitals, more from different funding organizations, more from pharmacies, so that if we want drug companies to get more involved in CMT, we can do that if we can present to them, okay, we have 5,000 people with CMT that are ready, and we know what's going on. We've got them assessed. We know what their current level of function is. We know how to study them, and we're ready to do the trials. That's very attractive to a drug company. They say, okay, great. Now if we come up with a product like Frank has that looks promising, boom, we're ready to test it. And so that's a lot of what we're trying to build. So there's real power in numbers, which is why we're really always excited to connect up with the CMT Association, because that's their goal as well, is to organize and motivate the community. So Stanford and the CMT Association are working together here, linking arms so that we can attack this. And so it's exciting for us to have one of the CMT Association national stars, and certainly regional stars, Elizabeth Ouellette, come here and talk with us about what's going on. And speaking of stars, that's what she's going to talk about. So we'll talk about the CMT Association STAR program.
Thank you. This is my man, Eric. He just told me to hold on, but I'm forging ahead. I want to thank Dr. Day, Carly Siskin, Jennifer Fisher, and everyone from Stanford for inviting both Bethany and myself to this conference. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to see everyone here. And so I thank you so much for your collaboration and your continued work together towards a common goal, and that's creating awareness, patient advocacy, and really finding a treatment for CMT. So thank you, Dr. Longo. That was excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. So who am I? I'm just a mom of a child with CMT. This is my son, Yohan, when he was about 6 years old, and it was right before we found out that he had CMT. I'm sure many of you can relate to having children with CMT. He was going to physical therapy. He wasn't running as fast as the other kids. He couldn't do the monkey bars, which was catastrophic in first grade. And I don't remember the reason he's wearing these splints, but we did do the serial casting that Dr. Burns spoke about. We did the night splinting, which did not work, as Dr. Burns mentioned. And so here he is at the age of 6 or 7. And today, this is Yohan. He's 22. He's at Pitzer College in Southern California. And we just came back from a wonderful event in Vermont where my brother, Chris, who has just joined our board of directors, put on this wonderful Cycle for CMT event. And it was just fantastic. Yohan flew in from California. I spoke, my brother spoke. We raised over $100,000 for CMT research. And this has become an annual event, and more people are participating, so it's wonderful. And I don't know if you can see it here on this slide. No, I don't think you can, but Yohan interned for the CMTA over the summer, and he actually has blue hair because September is CMT Awareness Month. So I just wanted to make sure you all know that you have to go home and dye your hair now, just to, to be in the spirit of CMT Awareness Month. But boy, when I look at Facebook, there are so many people coming out and saying they have CMT and saying I'm 1 in 2,500 and posting their pictures and getting involved. I've been involved with the association, with the CMTA for the past 15 years. I've been on the board for the past 12. And I cannot believe how far we've come, not only in recognizing the disease, in understanding more and more about CMT, but people getting involved to make a difference. And that's why I'm happy to see so many of you here and on Facebook. So it's just wonderful to see the difference that people make. So I am the vice chair of the CMT Board of Directors, and I volunteer all my time to the association because I believe in our association and our collaborations with the different centers of excellence, especially one right here at Stanford, near my hometown. When I first joined the board of directors, the only place you could go to get a CMT diagnosis and to see a CMT expert was in Detroit, Michigan. And now it's wonderful to see 17 of these centers worldwide, 14 of which are in the United States, which is wonderful. So when I first joined the board of directors, we were Dr. Michael Shai, who is a superstar in the realm of CMT and CMT research. We accepted grant applications, and so people would come to us, and Dr. Shai would look over the grants, and we'd choose one or two, hopefully miraculous papers that would bring us to a treatment or bring us to a discovery in the world of CMT. That just wasn't working for us. We were spending a lot of money, and we were getting these grant applications, and it was wonderful for doing the research, but we needed something more focused. We wanted something to find a treatment for CMT. So in 2008, our board got together right here in Palo Alto, not exactly in this room, but a room just like it, and we decided that we were going to fund a program called STAR. And what is STAR? STAR is Strategy to Accelerate Research. STAR is all about finding a treatment, finding a pill, finding a way to stop the progression of CMT or slow it down, or even reverse some of the effects, as Dr. Longo mentioned. So STAR is about finding a pill to treat CMT. And STAR is, I could talk to you forever about the phenotypes and CMT1A and PMP22, but I don't think that's going to serve me in this 10 minutes that I have. I would like to really talk to you about what STAR is, and STAR is based on a proven strategy used by other organizations who have actually brought drugs to market, who have brought medications to patients just like you for, in this case, for CMT. So what is STAR all about? What is Strategy to Accelerate Research all about? Well, when we first started, we had the old way. All the doctors around the country and the world were working in silos. There was a group here, there's a group here, there's a group here, over here. But there was no collaboration, there was no interaction, there was no talking, no sharing of research successes or failures. So what we decided is we want our scientists, who are the best in the world in CMT research, to actually work together, to come together, collaborate real time, talk to one another, and figure out where are we going to go? What are we doing here? How are we going to get this done? How are we going to find treatments for CMT? So we have a scientific expert board and a therapy board, and no project can go on or continue without their okay and their oversight of all the projects. So instead of working in silos now, we're working in a collaborative effort with CMT scientists all over the country and actually all over the world. And these are our STAR teams. These are the guys that get down and dirty into the research and are finding treatments for CMT. So we have Dr. John Savarin. We're working on CMT1A, 1B with Dr. Michael Shai as our lead. CMTX, Dr. Shearer, many of you may know him. Dr. Balo from Cedars-Sinai, and also Dr. Ronald Liam from Columbia University and CMT2E. So we are working on finding treatments for CMT1A, 1B, X, 2A, and 2E, the most common types of CMT. And we've also just added CMT type 4 to the mix. And so what is this strategy all about? Well, the strategy is about creating cell lines or assays. So just picture this. CMT cells in a dish. We have tons of them. little CMT cells running around in a dish, right? And we have dishes and dishes and dishes and dishes and dishes of these CMT cells. They're all, living their lives in this little dish. And what we want to do is high throughput screening. What is high throughput screening? That is throwing as many compounds, as many drugs into these cells and seeing what effect do these drugs make the cells worse? Do they stay the same or do they get better? What do we want? We want these cells in these dishes to get better. So we have, the CMTA has attracted the attention of pharmaceutical partners. And one of the big ones we're working with the NIH for the high throughput screening, and they've been a partner for a long while. And we also subsidize several postdocs at the NIH to work on our cell lines. We've also attracted the attention of Pfizer, Amgen, ISIS, Genzyme, and Addix. And Sanofi Genzyme has been a star partner. They have screened, in addition to the NIH, over 2.4 million compounds on these cells. 2.4 million, that is a heck of a lot of compounds. So we throw all the compounds known to mankind on these little CMT cells. And so as of now for CMT1A, for example, Sanofi Genzyme has come and focused and found 700 compounds that made these cells better. A little bit better, much better, a heck of a lot better. And so what happens after that? Well, they're narrowing down the process, and according to Sanofi Genzyme, the cells and the treatments, we may be able to narrow down the focus of these 700 compounds to maybe 2 or 3 by the end of next year and go into human clinical trials. Wouldn't that be fantastic? That is our hope. That is our hope for the future. By next year. The strategy also in parallel, we just don't create these cell lines at the NIH or with Sanofi or our superstars like Dr. John Savarin. We also create the animal model, and we replicate the disease states in different animal models for CMT1A, 1B, 2A, 2E, etc. And the final, so, like Dr. Longo said, a lot of times what you see in a mouse, it doesn't quite replicate in the human being. We tried the vitamin C's, we had the vitamin C trials. We had great results in the mouse or the rats, but when it came to humans, it was ineffective. So what we've done is we've partnered with the New York Stem Cell Foundation, and they actually give us stem cells, adult stem cells from skin and tissue samples. So then we create those cells in little dishes. And so we have nerve cells, and we also have Schwann cells in these dishes. And then for those compounds that have made it through the trials and the tests, we then try the compounds on the human cells before we go to human clinical trials, so that our rate of success will be higher than if we were just treating in a mouse or a rat, right? So that has been a huge part of our success, this partnership with the New York Stem Cell Foundation. And of course, human clinical trials are our goal. It's for every single type. We're the furthest right now with 1A. But things happen fast. Discoveries are happening all the time. It could be for 1B. It could be for 2A, 2E, or even CMTX. Or, pretty soon, type 4. And when I talk about human clinical trials, and I think Dr. Burns mentioned this also, there's a patient registry. We're all working together, and if you come to Stanford, they will enroll you in this patient registry. But you can also, and so that's why another reason that Stanford is such a big partner with the CMTA is because we all belong to this patient registry. We want you to join the patient registry online. And you can join also through the Center of Excellence right here at Stanford. And when we talk about human clinical trials, by joining, this is where you're going to hear about human clinical trials. They will send you updates, they will send you research updates, they'll get you involved in online trials. So please write down this name And join now so that this, the treatment for CMT is not just the CMTA, it's not just Stanford, but it's really a relationship and a partnership with all of you, with our associations, to really bring treatments to the forefront of CMT. Okay? Everybody got this? Okay, take your time, write it down, and I can also give you the URL afterwards. Tell me when. Yeah. So this is my son Yohan. I think you can see his blue hair, and myself at our Cycle for CMT event. So my interest in the CMTA and CMT began when he was diagnosed with CMT, as I told you. He has 1A. CMT does not run in our family. He's a spontaneous mutation. And when he was first diagnosed, I said, geez, what is this thing? Charcot-Marie-Tooth? Does this have something to do with your teeth? What is going on? They said something about cerebral palsy. And then we're like, okay. Then it came out to be CMT. But now that I'm in the CMT community, I feel like we're a big family. I feel part of the Charcot-Marie-Tooth Association and our CMT community online and right here in person, and with our leaders here in the Bay Area, Tao and Ori, who are superstars, who just done a fantastic walk a couple weeks ago in Palo Alto, and they have been fabulous. But I'm in it not just for Yohan now. I'm in it for Julia, one of our chairman's daughter, Julia. I'm in it for Bethany. Now I'm going to cry because I love Bethany. Bethany just got married at the end of June. Congratulations, Bethany. Bethany tried out this cool bike in Vermont. She came to the event also. I do it for Jacqueline. I do it for support group leaders and members. I do it for little Riley, my colleague Gina, Sweeney's daughter. I'm involved for Steve Weiss, for his friends. I'm involved for little Leah, who's at the head leading the charge of this walk for CMT. So I thank all of you for your participation. Thank you for coming to this conference. There is a lot of hope, there's a lot of promise, and we will find a treatment for you and for your CMT, for your family members. Thank you.